I just got off a video vlog with Melissa, and we were talking, and I've been thinking about this for a while now. A lot of these videos that I make are more personal vlogs I would consider my messages to the kids, and we were always talking, and I hadn't said or made anything for other people with this disease, ALS, that could be helpful. I'm not a big social media person for the most part. I'm pretty private and um, low profile. I have low key tatted on me. I've always been pretty. It's just been my personality. But I was sitting there thinking, and I've been meaning to make this video. I was in 2020. I started experiencing symptoms in late 2019, probably around November. I think I went to the doctor in November. I was starting to experience weakness in my foot, or I was having a twitch in my right leg. And I think, yeah, at that point, we went on a cruise in November. So Bree's birthday, maybe December. No, I had to have been before that. September, maybe. September. But as soon as I had a twitch, if you type in Google just twitch in your body, the first thing that comes up is ALS. And at the time, because I was just having this one minor little twitch in um, my right upper leg, I didn't think. And there's a lot of information out there that says it's not likely this is what you're experiencing, and there's a lot of things that can mimic the disease. And at the time, that was it. That's all I had was a little twitch. Nothing else felt wrong. Uh, my body, blood work, my physicals were okay. Everything else was good. And so this was later 2019, but I do remember looking it up it's a possibility. But I was like, well, I'm not having any other twitches anywhere else. That's probably not it. But it was still in the back of my mind that you know, it could, but it kind of phased because at the time this was all I was experiencing. But so I continued to work and try, do our normal routine. But as I was, it's January, February, I'm starting to feel more symptoms, but I still don't know what it is exactly at this time. They're probably just um, doing more tests. They're really not being super concerned right now. I don't even know if I went to a neurologist at this time. I think I had. But anyway, uh, I'm telling a story to tell this story, really. June 1st, 2020, a day I will never forget. So I was going to work. By this time, we're in the middle of the pandemic, and my job was an audit coordinator. So we were working from home, and on the time we had to go to the office when an auditor from a provider came in and we needed to assist and guide them through it. And I think at the time because all the pandemic stuff happened, this was my first audit for the year. It was June 1st. And I left the house like normal. And as I'm getting on the interstate, this is the worst I've ever seen it backed up. And you can tell that is something that's happened in some type of, I admit, I had never seen it this backed up. I mean, it was like hours, 2 or 3 hours. It was like very, very bad. Like, in fact, I could tell. I was like, it must be some type of catastrophe, like, or fatality, because it looked. I mean, it was just. It was on the radio. It was backed up real bad, and I can't remember who told me this in life, but I've tried to keep it, and I think it's a good thing. Years ago, somebody said, when you see a car wreck or something like that that's happened, it's time to slow down and not necessarily saying, well, I'm gonna be late to where I'm going. I need to go where I need to be. And I remember stopping and actually praying for the person. I said, let me take a moment to actually pray and ask for comfort for them. My eyes twitching now. to ask for comfort for them and just in peace, because it looked. I'd never seen traffic. I've drove 10 years up to Nashville back and forth from Murfreesboro, and I had never seen it this bad. So I knew it must have been something pretty bad. I had to detour off the interstate, like they shut the interstate down, and so I detoured, and eventually I got to work. And this was June 1st. I went through my day, but for some reason, because of I had never seen the traffic backed up that bad. I kept wondering. I'm like, man, what happened? I knew it was some type of car wreck, and eventually later on that evening, I think it was the evening, the next morning, I kept just it wasn't like a normal just we see car accidents all the time or things, and people kind of move on with their situations. It's just life. But for some reason, I kept trying to figure out, I just wanted to know who it was, or what it was, and eventually they released her name, and it was a girl, a 24-year-old girl named Markeisha Reed, and I for some reason I don't know why I felt the need. I investigated more for some reason. I just wanted to see who this person was, and just I don't know why my spirit was just curious of who this person was, a young person. And I remember Googling her or Facebooking her and seeing what information I could, or what this person looked like. And eventually it led me to a video that she did about a year and a half, maybe a year and a half or before that. She shot it through her church here in Murfreesboro. And I remember me going through my situation at that time of, me feeling like I hadn't been diagnosed yet. So, but I remember this video of her, and she's talking about how she came to Christ, man. And and I thought about it like she didn't know a year after she shot that video, that she wouldn't be here on this earth anymore. And it's a beautiful video. In fact, I followed it so much. I wish I could save the video, because initially they had it on their churches, like their YouTube profile, but now it's under her going home ceremony, her funeral. They incorporated it in that, and but I always thought about that. I'm grateful that she was able to understand and know she had a savior. And a year, even I'm sure I don't know her full journey, but I remember seeing the confidence and the peace in her shooting this video. I've showed it to several friends, and man, I've watched that video literally probably 50 times. It's helped me get through my journey. She's pretty much just testifying and witnessing her journey. She didn't know that she would not be here a year, after shooting that video. And to me, it was very impactful on my journey. I tried to even find her mom or somebody on Facebook to let them know, for what it's worth, that, that she had an impact. I never knew this person. That experience on, June 1st, 2020 is something that I was in the traffic. And then here a year later, or later on that year, I was diagnosed with a terminal illness. And 3 weeks after my second child was born. And I remember going back to that video, and it was so helpful for me, so many days and nights to watch that video. I'm saying that to say this, to acknowledge, even me, these videos, I hadn't made any type of public video, or, I hadn't thought too much about it. But I realized that, by others telling their stories, how powerful it can be to somebody else, and it can be very helpful. And I'm grateful for that. And I thought I've been wanting to tell that story, because my cousin Melissa said, man, I wish you'd release some of these, my little 2 cents that I'm telling my kids, with the intent that if I'm not here, that some of my perspective on things, and just, tell them a little bit of my journey, But I wanted to tell that story about Markeisha Reed. That video, man, it's been super helpful, and I understand the by people sharing their stories, it can help someone else. So I don't know, I don't know, when if this will be released or if it can help someone else, but um, her having that confidence in that security and that peace, as she went through the end of her journey, and to see her at that video, man, I was like, it was like I don't know how to explain. It touched my spirit for me to even keep following this. It was just a lot of people, it was just another day for people. But that her doing that video has helped me during my journey. And I think that's what we're all here to do. We're all here to help one another get through this thing called life. Ultimately, I believe the peace is with Christ, man. And she had it. And I'm still learning every day. I told this to Melissa the other day, and it's a quote. I've met God on my way up, but I'm really getting to know Him on my way down, going through this, and humble myself and really get time to seek Him and listen. I hate this situation, but if this is what causes Him to, for me and for people around me, I tell them this is an opportunity for us to think about things beyond this world and to really seek Him. Then if that's my mission, then I'm all right with that. Nobody lives in this world forever. I wouldn't want to live in this forever anyway. So much going on, but yeah, I felt like I need to make this video, and that's it. Signing off.